is going on, homies and Star Wars fans? My name is John Solo and welcome to another Star Wars theory. I am extremely excited to bring you guys this theory today because it's based on an idea that I've personally held very close to my heart for years now, but have never actually vocalized on this channel because, frankly, it requires a lot of assuming and also completely ignores canon. I am, of course, talking about Mace Windu having survived his duel with Chancellor Palpatine. I agree that the cards are stacked against me for this argument, including official canon. And that's why I'm not claiming that Mace Windu is alive. As unfortunate as it is, I understand that he died on that fateful night 19 years before the Battle of Yavin. Now that being said, what if he didn't? I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but this idea has actually been discussed quite a bit over the past couple of weeks. I'm actually kinda late delivering this one. If you're wondering why it suddenly becomes such a hot topic, it's because of a little Q&A session that Samuel L. did on Twitter. A user named StarWarsGirl1 asked him whose idea it was to kill Mace Windu, and he had this to say.
As in most Star Wars movies, it was George Lucas' idea to kill Mace Windu. He said he killed all these important characters and all these other movies leading up to that, and said the only person left to kill that would mean anything in episode 3 would be me. I was trying to figure out, really? Can't you just like injure me and whatever? In my mind, I'm not dead. Jedis can fall incredibly high distances and not die.
I feel like he didn't know exactly how to end that sentence. So now we've heard it directly from the man who plays Mace Windu. According to his headcanon, his character isn't dead. Unfortunately, that doesn't really mean anything. Just because he played the character doesn't mean at all that he actually has a say in his fate. That said, Sam Jackson also discussed the topic in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, and he revealed some pretty interesting information. Apparently, at some point, I'm not sure if it was on set or sometime after the movie had been released or what, Sam asked George Lucas if Mace Windu could be alive, and George Lucas said, "Yeah, I'm okay with that. You can be alive." Now, Jackson never actually clarified the context of the conversation, so for all we know, he was holding a purple-colored samurai sword to George's throat, and George was like, "Yeah, I'm okay with it. You can be alive." Now, regardless of the context, that means something. The creator of Star Wars says that Mace Windu is still alive, and the head of the creator of Star Wars, this character did not die. But I'm sure some of you are already thinking about my next point. George Lucas doesn't really have anything to do with it anymore, and that is totally correct, and Samuel L. admits this as well. No matter how serious the conversation was, there was nothing in the canon universe, or even expanded universe for that matter, that indicates that Windu might have survived. There was nothing for George Lucas or anyone else to point to when discussing the new canon and say, "See this here? Windu survived. Mark it down." And that's pretty unfortunate in my opinion. In the mind of the creator of Star Wars, Mace Windu is alive, but because he never did so much as write it down on a scrap of paper before selling Lucasfilm to Disney, the possibility could be gone forever. But it doesn't have to be. Sam Jackson really did bring up an interesting point when talking about Windu's death. Both Jedi and Sith are known for falling incredible distances and surviving. We've got plenty of evidence for this, even if we just take examples rooted in the films. There's Darth Maul in Episode 1, whose injuries are undoubtedly worse than Mace's when he falls. There's Yoda in the very same movie that Mace was killed. And of course, there's Luke Skywalker, whose injuries are nearly identical to Mace's, and he's nowhere near as trained in the Force. Jackson also brings up another good point in his Entertainment Weekly interview. There is a history of one-armed Jedi. I mean, realistically, there's a history of Jedi and Sith with even less arms than that. Think about Darth Vader, who not only had no arms, but no legs either, and he was even set on fire. We've been shown time and time again that Force users can experience insane levels of punishment and not only survive, but become stronger than ever before. And also, we can't forget that Mace Windu is just a bad mother. He spent the final moments of his life taking down the most powerful Sith currently in existence. I understand that the tide of a battle can turn instantaneously, and what we saw in Episode 3 proves it. But Windu was so on top of his game at this point. Call me crazy, but I don't think he would have let himself be killed like that. Defeated, yes, but killed? No. In fact, I would argue that after hearing all of this information, that it's even more crazy to deny the possibility that the Jedi known as the champion of the Jedi Council might have survived. Like I said before, it's absolutely canon that Mace Windu is dead. I'm not arguing that. I realize that it sounds like I am, but I'm not. The point that I'm trying to make is that even though he's dead now, he doesn't have to stay that way. It would even be possible to bring him back. Hear me out. The Revenge of the Sith came out in May of 2005, just over 11 years ago. There's a 19-year gap in between the events of episodes 3 and 4. Sam Jackson is at the perfect age to bring the character back in any of the movies that are going to take place within this time frame. Whether it be Rogue One, the Han Solo movie, or the third standalone film, which by the way, doesn't have a subject anymore because of some issues behind the scenes with the Boba Fett film. I think his character would be a little too old to incorporate into episodes 8 or 9, and it's obviously too late to include him in Rogue One. But how radical would it be if in the Han Solo spin-off we see an old, scarred-up Mace Windu with a mechanical arm? Even better, what if the third standalone film went in a completely different direction and chose to focus on Windu and what he's been up to since getting tossed out that window? I don't know about you guys, but I think we're in desperate need of a film titled Windu. And I think Samuel L. Jackson would agree. In fact, I say we all tweet this video at him and see if we can get his thoughts on the matter. Hashtag Windu is alive. Let's get it trending. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed it, comment your thoughts, share this video with a friend, especially if your friend is Sam Jackson, and subscribe for some weekly Star Wars content. May the Force be with you all, and don't forget, John shot first.
This party's over.